Ableton has dropped yet another update for the Move, and I am so excited. Let's get into Move Update 1.4. Now, the reason I'm so excited is because they added the #1 feature I have wanted on Move, and that is the fourth note layout. Let me show you why this matters. Okay, so currently the notes are only arranged by octave on the Move, which I've actually grown a liking to. Kind of fun to play bass lines with that. However, the push and other grid instruments have always had a fourths mode. In this mode, you can play up the instrument or across. And the reason I love fourths mode, if you notice this shape, this is a triangle shape, right? That is how you play a triad when the notes are arranged in this way. So we have the root, the third, and the fifth. Classic triad chord, and it's even easier to just add a seventh onto that. Easy seventh chords. For me, it's just way easier to see chords and chord progressions in this mode than it is in octaves mode. Very happy to see this come to the Move. In the Ableton Live 12 beta, which I also just dropped a video on, they're introducing a device called Expressive Chords, which allows you to play notes with one pad. I'm really hoping something similar comes to Move in the future, and all I'm saying is they did make this Max for Live device available for intro, standard, and suite users. So does that mean it could potentially come to the Move? I'm not sure, but I hope so. Alright, another very cool useful feature is that from note mode, we can now create a new clip. So I've got a melody playing on this track right here. It's already playing, right? If I wanted to maybe record a new idea, if I was doing a performance, or if I just wanted to stay in the flow of writing new melodies, I just hold Shift in this pad right here, pad 14. A new clip is now selected, and I can now easily just write a new melody. Little 2-bar melody, whatever. But the point is, you used to have to go to session mode to do that. Now you can do it from note mode. Speaking of doing things from note mode, now we can put a note on the step sequencer, but notice that note is playing really short. It's way easier to make notes longer or change the note length now by holding the step that the note is on and then holding the step that you want it to hold until. Very easy, very fluid. Another minor but more than welcome update is that if you hold Shift and press a track, you can now change the track's color, which is good for organizing things. If, for instance, your drums are always supposed to be one color, your leads, etc. Good way to stay organized with color coordination. One final awesome update. Let's record a loop. You hear how the Quantize is a bit off? Now, sometimes I like to keep my hi-hats a little more fluid, a little unquantized, but that snare, I really want to lock it in. I can now quantize individual parts by holding Shift, step 16, and the pad that I want to quantize. Let's quantize the snare. So now that snare is locked in on 2 and 4, but my hi-hat is still feeling humid and fluid, unquantized. Overall, I gotta say I am super stoked that we are seeing so many great updates coming for the Move so fast. If you haven't been tempted by Move yet, I see a lot of faith to be put in Ableton with creating an environment where this device keeps getting better and better. I recently did a small performance at South by Southwest with Ableton, doing a performance on the Move. If that's something you'd like to see me detail here on this channel, how I set up the performance, how I used Move, etc., let me know in the comments down below. For now, you can go back and watch any of my other Move videos or my latest video on the new Ableton 12.2 beta. That's going to be all for now. Thank you so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.